It's no secret that male virility and vitality has been on sharp decline in the last century. Compare the men of those ages to the men of today. There's really no comparison. Now, there are many reasons for this rapid decline in men's testosterone levels, but our diets are definitely among one of the top contributors. There's been a war on your health and your masculinity, and the powers that be have hidden the true high testosterone diet from you. Mainstream media and influencers will give you backwards dietary advice because they don't want to see you thriving and at your best. But I want better for you. And that's why in this video, I'll be revealing the kinds of foods you need to be eating to increase your testosterone levels. So to put it as simply as possible, and at the start of the video to not waste your time and drag you along, the true high testosterone diet is a meat and animal product based keto diet. That is the diet that'll maximize your testosterone levels, give you the optimal hormonal foundation and balance really to be manly, to build more muscle, to have a higher libido, to all in all just feel at your best and thrive as a man. Now, yes, that recommendation from me is like, it does go against most of the mainstream dietary advice. Mainstream dietary advice is really the exact opposite. If you look at the food pyramid and stuff like that, it tells you to eat a lot of carbs, a lot of grains, a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, and to limit your meat intake overall, and even in your meat intake, don't eat like red meats at all. So basically what I'm telling you to do is the exact opposite of the mainstream dietary advice, but just hold on for a second because I'll explain exactly why eating this way is going to increase your testosterone, and eating the way that the mainstream media tells you to eat is going to lower your testosterone. So the first reason that eating this way will increase your testosterone is because you'll be getting a ton of saturated fats. Now, contrary to popular belief and contrary to the mainstream media, really the mainstream propaganda, saturated fat is not bad for you or unhealthy for you or dangerous for you in any way. I've sort of refuted that point in much more detail in a prior video that I'll attach here in one of the cards. But in short, the entire vilification of saturated fats and the idea that saturated fats are harmful for you is nothing more than ideology. It's not based in scientific fact at all. And if you watch that video, there's actually a lot of really scientific fraud that went into sort of constructing that narrative of saturated fats being dangerous for us. Saturated fats are not dangerous for us in any way. This should make sense to us logically as well. If we go back to like the era of like the cavemen and whatever, the only fats they had to eat were saturated fats, because saturated fats are really the only fat you find in nature. Saturated fats are what's on like a cow or a goat, for example, like on their literal body, or even in their milk from which you can make like butter or whatever. That is all saturated fat. In nature, there really is no such thing as unsaturated fats. So if saturated fats were so bad for us, then how did humanity even get this far? Unsaturated fats have only been available to us in like the last 125 years, and in that time is where we've seen most of the disease. Prior to that, like let's say earlier than 1900, heart attacks weren't even a thing. So it really just does not make sense to say that saturated fats are causing heart attacks and other health issues when those heart attacks and those other health issues have only really been prominent in the last 125-ish years. And prior to that, humans were eating a bunch of saturated fats. In fact, that was like all we were eating. Yet we never had those issues. Again, it just doesn't make sense and it's completely backwards. But anyways, with that sort of tangent and clarification out of the way, why exactly will eating a lot of saturated fats help you increase your testosterone levels? Well, it's simply because saturated fats really are a precursor to building testosterone. So cholesterol, which has again often been vilified, is found highly in saturated fats. And what you might not know is that cholesterol is actually one of the building blocks for testosterone in your body. So in a way, a diet that is low in saturated fats is basically a diet that is low in testosterone. You can't build testosterone without having cholesterol. It's literally a building block. And yet mainstream media has been telling you, oh no, don't eat saturated fats because it's going to be dangerous for you. No, it's not dangerous for you. In reality, they don't want you to eat saturated fats because they don't want you to have high testosterone levels. Now, going beyond the fact that cholesterol is quite literally a building block for testosterone, Saturated fat is also very important for you to eat to increase your testosterone, simply because saturated fat is some of the most nutritious food on this entire planet. So obviously, if you want to support your hormone profile and build or increase your testosterone levels, you need to have a lot of micronutrients to be able to do that. And saturated fats, again, like I said, are some of the most nutritious foods on this planet. And a lot of, even within foods that contain saturated fat, a lot of the vitamins and minerals are actually found in the saturated fat. So a lot of people try and tell you to throw out the egg yolk and have only the egg white, because the egg yolk has fat but the egg white has all the protein. Well, they're missing the point, because the egg yolk is, yeah, sure, it has fat and it has saturated fat, whatever, but it's also what has all the nutrients. The egg whites, yeah, whatever, they have the protein, but they're really lacking in nutrients. And like, it's not to say that protein isn't important, but the fat and the nutrients in the fat are just as, if not even more important. So you need both of those things. You can't just simply choose one and disregard the other. You need saturated fats because your body needs the nutrients within those saturated fats to survive. To double down on this point even further, saturated fats contain what are called like fat soluble vitamins. So there are certain vitamins and minerals in your body that your body simply cannot absorb unless they are eaten with fats, and with specifically saturated fats. You're not going to get that kind of benefit from eating those bullcrap seed oils, whatever, that they market to you, but you're going to get that benefit when you eat saturated fats. You're actually going to be able to absorb and make use of those nutrients in the foods that you're eating that normally would not be usable for your body if they weren't eaten with saturated fats. Now, another reason that eating this kind of diet will help you increase your testosterone levels is because it's a diet that doesn't really have any carbs in it. Now, I've gone into more detail of why carbs are bad for you and why you shouldn't be eating carbs in a separate video that I'll link up here in the top right that you can click. But to simplify it, sort of from a hormonal and testosterone perspective, when you eat a lot of carbs, it's very inflammatory on your body. So when your body is inflamed, it's not in the sort of optimal sort of state of mind or state in general to be at high testosterone. It's not, when your body is inflamed, it's more in sort of a fight or flight or sort of survival kind of mode. It's not focused on increasing your testosterone. Your body is going to be focused on increasing your testosterone levels when it's stable, when it's feeling healthy, when it's not feeling in a survival mode or a fight and flight mode. That's when your body's really going to thrive, and that's when your body's going to be able to increase your testosterone levels. So in short, that's why a diet that is rid of carbs will increase your testosterone. The final reason that this diet is the true high testosterone diet and will help you increase your testosterone levels is simply because you won't be eating as many plant-based foods. Now, in the mainstream circles, fruits and vegetables and plant foods in general have been sort of hailed as the, can do no wrong, the best foods for you, the most nutritious, the foundation of a healthy diet. But in reality, this is not the fact at all. So to begin with, sort of the first issue with plant-based foods, especially with regards to your testosterone levels, is simply that many of them have estrogenic effects. Now, that's the exact opposite of what you want. If you want to increase your testosterone, you don't want to be eating a bunch of foods that are estrogenic. Some of these foods, like one food, for example, as big, includes soy, but you can go on ChatGPT or Google it or whatever, like what are some estrogenic plant foods, and you'll find a ton of plant foods are estrogenic. So, it just kind of goes without saying, if you want to have high testosterone levels, don't eat foods that are estrogenic. Beyond that, many plant foods are actually not as nutritious as they're made out to be. Now, again, this is something that's often not said to you in the mainstream media and mainstream fitness influencers. They won't tell you this, but there are these compounds in plant foods which are called anti-nutrients. And basically what they do is they inhibit the absorption of nutrients within not only the fruit or vegetable you're eating or the plant you are eating, but also the nutrients that you might be getting from foods alongside it. So for example, I don't know, if you eat, you eat corn tortillas with a bunch of meat, not only will the anti-nutrients in the corn tortilla, because of the corn, inhibit you from absorbing some of the nutrients from the whatever corn itself. It'll also inhibit your ability to absorb the nutrients from the meat. So it's really like kind of like a double whammy effect. And the reason why this is important goes back to the saturated fat section again. You want to have you want to have a wide range of micronutrients, and you want to have a good micronutrient balance so that your body has the like optimal foundation on which it can build more testosterone, and on which it can just thrive and do and be at its best. And when you're eating plant foods, you think you're doing that because plants are again hailed as the be all and end all of health and nutrition, but in reality that's not the case, and it's in large part because of these anti-nutrients. So that pretty much wraps it up. This is the diet that'll increase your testosterone. A diet that is high in fatty meat and other animal products and is low in plant foods and carbs. That is the diet that'll increase your testosterone levels, help you build more muscle, increase your libido, increase your manliness, make you more attractive. This is the way you need to be eating if you want to get all of those benefits. And if you don't want to get any of those benefits, you can keep listening to the mainstream media and their advice. If you found this video interesting, informative, or helpful in any way, or if you simply want to learn more, I would suggest first subscribing to the channel, but also visiting the link in my description. There you can join my free Skool community, which has a free Skool course, which is called the Skinny to Jack Blueprint. And in that course, I talk about all the essentials for working out, your diet, your recovery to thrive and build your dream physique. So if that's something that interests you, I would really suggest visiting the link in the description and checking that course out. It's completely free, so there's no obligation on you, nothing for you to lose. So really, it's a win-win for both myself and you. So yeah, that's really it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.